Greetings, programs. This is Wretch. Welcome back to Vampire the Masquerade, Reckoning of New York. And in the last episode, guys, Kali got to see a little bit about how her caitiff companion Patty lived his unlife by spending the night in his apartment to avoid the sun. Now it is night 2, we have entered Anarch territory, so I'm very curious to see what happens from here. Patty gnashes his teeth so loudly that I can hear it a good 5 feet away. He's spinning his ring in such a violent and erratic manner that for a brief, bizarre moment, I think he's going to rip his finger off. So, I make a brilliant, as always, decision to lighten the mood. So, Mado's super cool. Not gonna lie, I don't think I've ever met a kindred as charming and likable as Mado. What's his deal? Where's he hiding the bodies? From what I gather, his skeletons are buried deep in his past. Mado used to be quite the skilled thaumaturge once, delving into the darker arts, albeit reluctantly. His sire can be quite intense. Do I remember Mado from the previous games? It's been so long, it seems kind of familiar. Didn't peg Mado to be a thaumaturge, though. Aren't they all? Right. I'm happy to report that my efforts seem to have worked. Or at least, Patty straightens up and puts his hands in his pockets instead of maiming them with the twisty ring. Still, who knows what his little claws are doing to the lining of his coat. So, what's the plan now? I have to go see Torque. Yeah, I gathered, but Scary Enforcer Lady made it clear I wasn't invited to the party. You'll just have to wait in the car, then. Look, as much as I consider your perfectly serviceable car to be excellent company, we both know I can't just sit around doing nothing. Then I'll ask someone to keep an eye on you. Shouldn't take too long. Bullshit. You and your endless debates? I'll be old and gray before you come back, and that's not even an option anymore. Seriously, you handle Torque, and I'll head over to Sunny's to look for that Skylar girl. That's not happening. Oh, come on. I have been the very model of temperance tonight. We've only been awake for mere hours. Splitting hairs. I'm heading to Sunny's to wait for you there. Scout's honor. He sighs, rubbing tiredly at his eyes. Probably miss smartphones, but definitely don't miss GPS. I mean, what else can we do? Are you going to chip me like a dog or something? And before you say anything, I'm highly allergic to any form of tracking, tech or otherwise. I have no idea what any of that means. That's probably for the best. A shade of amusement crosses Patty's face, but he manages to swiftly suppress it. Look, it seems we're out of options here. You'll have to come with me and wait for a bit. I'll figure out what Torque wants from me, and then... He trails off mid-sentence and stares blankly into the distance, hands joining together to spin his ring. I wave my hand in front of his face, but he doesn't even flinch. Talk about being out there. And trust me, I'm an expert on out there. After what seems like a lifetime, he finally speaks up, and I feel every drop of predictability evaporate. Alright, let's meet the Empire of the Sun in an hour. Hold up. For real? Empire of the Sun, 1 hour. Don't let me down. And before I even have a chance to say anything, like maybe thanks or crack a joke, he turns on his heel, hops into his perfectly serviceable vehicle, and drives off into the night. I feel right at home all alone and without anyone breathing down my neck. Surprisingly, to myself and probably to Patty as well, I have no intention of bailing. Not when there's a solid lead waiting for me at Sunny's. But then again, the night is young, lit up, and gorgeous, and I'm alone in the city that never sleeps. Why not enjoy the scenic route? Ooh, so now we have... Luck be a lady tonight. And then Empire of the Sun. Well, we don't want to be rude. What are the odds of bumping into a street gambler right in the middle of New York, the day after Christmas at that? Slim to none, I'd say. But when fate is the dealer, you just gotta go all in. With my caretaker off doing his own thing, it feels like the Camarilla's iron fist is finally loosened up, giving me a much-needed break. No forced hangouts, no endless chases, just me cruising through the buzzing streets of the Bronx, with Mariah Carey's wailing as my soundtrack for the night. Because of course, you just can't escape the official anthem of Christmas. I'm not a fan of the fake festive frenzy, but still, the dazzling array of lights and decorations, the infectiously high spirits and cheer, it's enough to make even a Grinch like me crack a smile. Props to the folks who turned this whole Jesus-y shit into the world's longest con. Despite all that, I find myself craving some risky excitement. Yeah, I know, I'm a lost cause in that department. Perks of the clan, so to speak. And it looks like Lady Luck is grinning at me again tonight because, despite the nearly deserted streets, I spot a small crowd gathered up ahead. Curiosity piqued, I saunter close enough to fish out a really bad gather-up routine. Get in here, give it a chance, y'all, because we're about to dive into big old showdown, a jitterbug with destiny, or whatever's trending right now. Here, the cards are calling the shots. Destiny, cards, chance. It's that same familiar melody, just played in a different key this time. And clearly, someone forgot how to tune their act. 'Cause I remember well how it's done. Invite the memory. Funny, this worn-out spiel takes me back to my, well, let's just call them my free expression days, back when I was still mortal and not a vile creature of the night. I can still recall the dusty desert winds, the throbbing beats, and the neon lights that veiled my deceptions. My fingers were nimble with tricks, and the crowd's gasps were the fuel for my fire. And yeah, I was a hustler, though back when I fancied myself more of a street performer, skilled in my art, only dipping into its shadier aspects to cover my immediate expenses. Because it was about more than just making money. It was about finding that sweet spot between illusion and reality. It's just that when reality hits, it really fucking hurts. But when one chapter closes, another opens. And in that transition, Reynard played the role of a catalyst for change. Who's got the guts to risk it all? Come on, throw in a bit of your time and a few bucks and let's kick this party into high gear. The stage for this show is a dilapidated table with chipped pane and a couple of flimsy folding chairs. But it's not the dismal setup that's the most rickety, it's his whole vibe. The guy is a walking vitamin D deficiency, wrapped up tight in a jacket that could easily fit two of him. His hands are like spiders, always creeping back into his pockets when he's not dealing or shuffling. I squint up to get a better look at his face. His eyes shoot directly at me. Hey folks, check out our next contender in the crowd. How about we shuffle up for a round of poker, you and I, huh? I can see that on the sly scale, 10 being smooth like Shin Lim, and 1 being just your average uncle, he's all brakes and no gas. But hey, I've been fooled before. And that never stopped me from diving headfirst into dumb risks, has it? Deal me in, slick. I slide into a chair, deliberately choosing the one he didn't point to, just to throw off his rhythm, and I toss the required change into his jar for a buy-in. Jar's pretty full, though I suspect he might have stuffed it himself to look more convincing. We're keeping it real simple, with only 10 cards, no room for cheating around here. You can sneak in an extra one because you'll bust me, and if I try to swipe one away, you'll clock me real quick. Is Hold'em dead or something? 10-card poker? Really? I vaguely remember Reynard teaching me some trick to avoid getting played, but right now my mind's so blank it feels like I'm forgetting even more stuff just by thinking about it. Alright, quick math. There's me and him, so that's 2, plus the standard 52 card deck, 10 cards in the mix, and that with, yeah, 250 something combinations. Half that, then factor in whatever he's hiding up his sleeve, and that's roughly the number of ways I can get fucked over. I probably should have asked what we were playing before diving in. But he's already shuffling, so there's a chance to get a read on him. I need a plan, stat. Keep an eye on him, take a peek at the cards, try to recall the trick. I think we should try to recall the trick before anything else. I dig deep, trying to latch onto any memory of this trick. And oddly enough, I've managed to fish out a piece of wisdom buried deep in the muck of my mind. Reynard's words come back to me. Something about ships and that biblical guy. What's his face? Joe? Jared? Jackie? The whale guy, I mean. Guess I could really use Patty's endless knowledge right about now. Fuck it. Let's go with Jackie. So this Jackie asshole, he's bad luck for the whole ship. And similarly, there's one doomed card that ruins my whole game. But here's the kicker. If I can figure out which card Jackie is, I can turn this game around in my favor. So the Jackie card goes down the shitter. Now the million-dollar question, which card is it? Playing the first round against an even shitty hustler is basically throwing my cash into a black hole. But hey, I'm feeling generous today. I'll even toss in a few extra bucks just to keep the game interesting. He deals and I check my hand. Jack of clubs, queen of hearts, king of spades, and a pair of eights. Oh man, not bad. I just barely won. Got two pairs, jacks and queens. Just as expected. He's playing three of a kind with three different cards, and the culprit behind my defeat, the one card causing all the trouble, the king of spades. I need to steer clear of it at all costs. And it's pretty easy to win when you're the one doing the shuffling. The crowd backs me up with murmurs of agreement. He looks rattled for a second, but quickly recovers with a smirk. Alright. You know what? Let's even the odds a bit. I'll show you the card, and you can decide whether to keep it or pass it back to me. Deal? Finally, things are about to get interesting. He finishes shuffling and flicks the first card my way. Your choice. The Queen of Hearts makes her grand entrance, all pomp and circumstance. Okay, so I need to check something. I need to steer clear of the King of Spades. Mine. Yes, Queen. Lead the way to our victory. Oh my god, I can't believe I actually said that. Definitely mine. The King of Spades appears, all business with his arms crossed. Do you want this card, or should I take it? Sorry, King, but you're not making the cut. No thanks. You can keep it. His eyebrow twitches nervously. You sure? Just keep dealing. How about now? The 8 of diamonds, about as exciting as watching paint dry. Nah, I'm passing on this one. You can have it. I make a few more calls, deciding whether the cards go to him or to me until he's dealt them all. Just a heads up, you've seen all the cards, so we can still swap decks if you want. His shaky posture says it all. Oh, buddy, you really backed yourself into a corner, and I can't resist pushing just a bit more. Do you want to swap the piles? He shoots me a sour look and reluctantly reveals his hand. I won. The crowd cheers for me when the gambler leans in, his voice a low hiss. You were counting, weren't you? Cheater. What's that, Pot? I can't hear you over your whiny, whiny calling me blood. Okay, I don't know how to say that. Okay, never mind. You cheated. You knew exactly what to do. Admit it. Nobody beats me without cheating. His accusation, foolish and loud enough to carry probably 2 blocks away, definitely catches the attention of everyone nearby. This is just too perfect. Did y'all hear that? I think somebody just confessed. Suddenly it's so quiet you could hear a pin drop. Then the whispers start, quickly turning into a chorus of boos, but I'm not sticking around for the rotten tomatoes. I snatch up my winnings and book it into the night, serenaded by the sound of shattered glass, coins clinking to the pavement, and the loser's whimpers. And then I speed up. I've already wasted too much time here. Neat. The area outside Empire of the Sun is pretty sparse, both with mortals and my fellow kindred, so chilling out front isn't a big deal. I blend in perfectly, all lamped up for whatever's going down tonight. Still, old habits die hard, so I take a sec to study the area carefully, taking in the way my con artist sensibilities demand. First off, it's mostly tame out here. The only dude catching my eye is this total nutjob parked by the door, screaming about doomsday while rocking that coked-up Al Pacino look. He's got that wild vibe, complete with drool and insanity in his eyes. Yikes. Even if I was still in the grifter game, I wouldn't bother with him. Lunatics like that are more trouble than they're worth, and usually broke to boot. Then there's the front of the dive, which looks, for lack of a better word, loved. Despite the dodgy neon and the graffiti that's actually kinda witty, the place radiates an inviting warmth. A place with a soul. Still, the Empire of the Sun sign with Zoo scribbled next to it is so on the nose I can't help chuckling on the inside. People clearly have fun at Sunny's and treat it as their place. A place they can return to again and again and again and never feel unwelcome. But I'm wasting precious time just standing out here. Gotta find Skylar before Patty comes back and gives me the look. I head for the entrance. Doors decked out with all sorts of funny stickers, but before I can even touch the handle, the crazy guy grabs me with unexpected speed for someone so curled up. I shake him off easily and give him my best back-off glare. Does nothing. He's in his own world. Oh, it's coming. The reckoning is upon us. The signs. The signs. Hey, back off, will you? Look up, damn you. It's death. Death, dressed in rays of light. It's watching. The Daystar is waiting to cleanse us in fire. As I walk past the guy, his words echo in my head and rattle between the crevices of my brain, steering long, dormant fears. Can you see it? The Daystar. It's the end of it all. I enter Sunny's acting all cool and collected as if none of that crazy shit fazed me. The interior looked exactly the way I expected. A kaleidoscope of stickers, murals, lights, and banners covering pretty much every available surface, interspersed with well-worn seating, musical instruments, and plenty of space for dancing. Say that I've seen it hundreds of times before in dozens of cities doesn't quite capture the whole picture. But I gotta say, feels like home. Spotting Skylar is easy with her head full of bleached dreadlocks. Besides, the bar is practically empty. Maybe all the kindred have gone to ring in the holiday season? Who knows? She's hunched over a table, completely focused on scribbling something in a notebook. She doesn't notice me as I approach, so I get a sneak peek at one of the pages and discover some gorgeous, intricate designs for, I assume, geometric tattoos. I don't know if we want to admit that we're kind of eavesdropping visually. Are you Skylar? Skylar Livingstone, I presume? I plop down right next to her, shaking her out of her reverie. She gives me a confused stare. Excuse me? You know, like Dr. Livingston. Dr. Livingston, I presume? I don't know your last name, so... But you do know my first. Who exactly are you? A new friend, if I'm lucky. Name's Callie. Her eyes narrow on me, to which I respond with my brightest grin. Can I help you or something? I'm looking for Reynard Castle. Never heard of him. So if that's all, and where do you think you're going? I grab her by the collar as gently as I can and ease her back down. She resists a little, but let's be honest, a thin blood has nothing on a well-fed kindred. I keep her down easily, but my grin widens in a manner that is hopefully just a little bit threatening. I usually favor dodging conflict over sparking it, but this time my impulses steer me toward chaos, and I let the flood take me like a ship on the windswept sea. Let go of me. Answer my questions, then. Reynard Castle. Where is he? Look, I really don't know any Reynard Castle or whatever, okay? Really? Playing dumb? Do I look like I'm here for games? Cut the shit and talk. I have nothing to say to you, bitch. Let me go or I'll start screaming. Ooh. Daunt? Chemistry? That's the more powerful of the two. I don't know what that's going to do to our blood, though. Should we do scream all you want? Let's do no you won't with chemistry. Any chance that we have to use it, really. Whoops. How? You have no mouth. I watch as her eyes bulge, hands grasping wildly at her face and finding nothing. Oh wow, we Scarlet Witch black bolted her. Blocking the sense of touch is not something I do often, but when the opportunity arises, it's always a sight to behold. Before she can catch on to the illusion, I theatrically snap my fingers, bringing her attention back to my face. There we go. All back to normal. Now, where is Reynard Castle? She touches her mouth, tugging at her lips, tracing the teeth, moving the jaw left and right a few times. Relief washes over her face, and she stutters a little when she speaks up. I honestly don't know. I've only heard bits and pieces about him. Any alchemist worth their salt knows all the major suppliers in the city. So you're an alchemist? Impressive. Screw you. Not sure where my genuine compliment went wrong, but okay. So what's the scoop on Castle? Preferably his current whereabouts. I keep telling you, I've got no clue. I've never even laid eyes on him. Then give me something worthwhile? You're sort of wasting my time here, girlie. Love me a good chat, but I'm on the clock at the moment. Alright, chill out, will you? I know someone. There's this courier. She delivers all sorts of shit all over the county. You can get pretty much anything. She's tight with Castle, alright? Interesting. Go on. Go on. Go on what? I smother the urge to roll my eyes. Go on. Hook me up with her. Like yesterday. All those threats and she still hesitates to help me. Well, the time for the stick has come and gone. Now it's time for the carrot. I wasn't really lying when I told Mato I'd rather not make any more enemies in the city. Look, you're not exactly catching on here. I could just take your phone and set up a meeting myself. But I'm feeling generous, so I'm asking you. Politely, I might add. You call that polite? I could switch back to rude. And I can get back to impolite, if that's what you prefer, but I think you'd rather I didn't. I'll even sweeten the pot, alright? You set me a meeting with that courier of yours, and I'll clue you in on where I stash my goods. Her ears perk up a little, but she still eyes me with great suspicion. What goods are we talking about? I flash her a reassuring grin, and though she recoils a little, her attempt at nonchalance fails miserably. Blood stashes, obviously. Top quality, best variety. All your little alchemist heart might possibly desire. Deal? I reach out my hand, pausing to give her the space to decide before I'm forced to make the decision for her. Luckily, after a brief deliberation, she reaches out and shakes my hand. Deal. Hold on, I'm gonna make a quick call. I nod and relax, keeping her in sight as she wanders over to the stage area and takes out her phone. I feel a twinge of guilt over how I treated her. maybe I should have just started off with that whole blood stash thing? Yeah, well, I'm not exactly a planner, am I? If this courier leads me to Raynard tonight, this whole search could end in a matter of hours. Just the thought of freeing myself from the looming threats of the Camarilla, that annoying caitiff, and this oh-so-futile endeavor. Warms the chambers of my undead heart. Finally, Skylar hangs up and gets back to the table, fidgeting with the charm hanging from her phone. Real bundle of nerves. Done. Means in 15. Let's move. And when it blazes brightest, we'll all be judged. A gentle snowfall greets me outside, gracefully covering the dirty sidewalks in a layer of pristine white and dusting the occasional pedestrian with soft, fleeting crowns. Skylar winces at the screams of the madman and brushes off the fallen snow. I, on the other hand, let it settle in my hair undisturbed. Snow never bothered me anyway. So, who are we meeting exactly, and where? The moment she opens her mouth, the perfectly serviceable vehicle cuts the corner with Patty hunched over the steering wheel, a roiling storm cloud on his face. He pulls up carelessly and lunges towards Sonny's before noticing Skylar and me. He pauses, face scrunching in confusion. He seems genuinely surprised to see me, and I'm suspended somewhere between feeling smug for defying his expectations, exacerbated that he has so little faith in my word, and slightly regretful. I never even attempted to flee, if only to gauge his reaction. Sadly, he regains his composure before I can tease him about it. You here? That's good. Of course. Duh, I told you I'd be here. Indeed. Though you've given your track record, you understand why I find it so shocking, yet not entirely unpleasant. Hey, I never gave my word I'd stick around last time, did I? He rolls his eyes and settles his gaze on Skylar. They size each other up suspiciously like a pair of alley cats on a hot tin roof. Patty, meet Skylar, a local anarch with a knack for alchemy. Skylar, meet Patty. It's Padraig, actually. Pleased to meet you, Skylar. Yeah, alright, you super formal goof. Skylar nods at him curtly. I can see the apprehension in her eyes, so I step in, hoping to keep up our fragile truce. Don't stress too much. Padraig might be a little bit uptight, but he's alright. He's just here to offer us a lift. That's all. I am? Yep. I see. Skylar's eyes jump between Patty and me, but in the end, she seems to give up on caution. Maybe the prospect of a ripe blood stash is keeping her on track. We need to get moving. The meeting place ain't far, but, well, night couriers aren't known for their patience. Let's hustle. A night courier, huh? Interesting. Who is this particular courier exactly? She shrugs, making her way toward the caitiff's ride. Don't know. I only know her by the handle, and she always wears a helmet, so... How mysterious. As long as she's clued into Raynard's location. Seems like my kind of gal, too. Maybe I should start wearing something on my face, like a cool mask. Skylar mutters under her breath. Gag would be more fitting. Honestly, Patty and her would definitely hit it off. Birds of a feather, yada yada. Careful, or I'll gag you instead. She presses her lips together and gets into the car without another word. Satisfied, I nod to myself before turning to Patty. Anyways, you done with the torque thing? Yes. His speedy response is slightly suspicious. I narrow my eyes and judge him openly, but he's completely unfazed. More importantly, what's that all about a night courier? I smile at him mischievously, fling the passenger door open, and there it is. Patty's audible sigh. He's really fond of his mortal reactions to my antics. Voices of the angels. They seek poison into your ears. Heed not, oh, heed not their honeyed words. The sudden commotion alerts me, and I'm instantly ready to pounce. The loony from before is kneeling before Patty, clutching at the hem of his pants with his head thrown back and misted over eyes staring blankly into the night sky. He stops screaming, but his lips quiver with faint whispers that fade into the air-like smoke. Dream not in your slumber, for the day star will sear its truth onto your whole being. I sigh and roll my eyes, ready to toss a quip about like attracting like, but then I notice that Patty has not moved an inch. He's staring motionlessly into the man's eyes, completely frozen aside from his hands, fingers twitching wildly, spinning the dice ring. He's been fidgeting like that a lot, actually, now that I'm paying attention. Podrick? You okay there, buddy? No answer. The catatonic madman falls over into the snow as I approach and gently free Patty from his grasp. Podrick? Talk to me. What's going on? Suddenly his hand stops, then all of him unfreezes. He avoids my eyes and shoves his hands into his pockets. I am fine. You sure? What was that all about? I do not know. Let's not fret about it for now. The night courier is waiting. Ooh. Alright, I'm really curious what's going on with Patty. Some said in the comments that he seems to have more of a Malkavian edge to him, and that could very well be. Maybe we'll find out some clues in the next episode, guys. I hope you all have enjoyed it. If you liked the episode, please leave a like down below. Subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, that'd be a big help. And we'll see you next time. Later days, everyone.